trying this again. Turn my microphone up a bit. Volume down on my system. Okay. See how this goes. Play. The chest is locked. Okay. Let's go ahead and try to pry it open. Apparently the ogre's already dead, so we can't kill him again. Okay, you force the ogre's chest open. A gold and 43 silver. Nice. Good. We need that money. And we're gonna go. Oh boy. Oh, forget this noise. Run, Davin, run! Well, that was weird. Flee! Sleep all night, because let's face it, this is bad. Tasty. So we killed that ogre who was guarding a cave. Maybe we should take a look in the cave. Oh, hang on a second, everybody. Sorry, that was my wife calling. Turn the bear back into a man. You have the honor of meeting the Baronet Bernard von Spielberg. Always envisioned him with having a really weaselly nasal voice because he's annoying and stuck up. But more than likely he has a deep voice or something. Probably sounds something like me. The arrogance of the Baronet astonishes you. Perchance the kobold magic user had a reason for changing him into a bear. Ya think? Interestingly enough, they don't really push it too much, but it seems that everybody has a reason for doing what they do in this game. You're going around undoing everything that other people have done. Uh-oh. Oh dear. Well, it seems to have crashed. We'll try this again. We'll come back and do the bear. How about that? We'll go out and come back in and see if that works. The bear won't let you near the lock. Let's feed him first, then. You have made the bear very happy. It would be wise to take advantage of his current mood. Okay, well, let's try opening the lock, then. Kobold's key disappears as we turn it in the lock. Okay. I have a cat crying at my feet. I don't know why. We were able to get out of the cave that time, so. Oop, there's a monster here. Oh, it's just a goblin. Oh. Come on, skill raise. Sorry. It was itch. 6 coins, huh? For skills raise? Barely. Bugger. Our vitality went up for getting beat all the pulp. And probably getting blown up, that probably helped too. Throw a single knife at him. Pick it up. Yeah, if you don't pick up your knife, you lose it, by the way. Right, enough of this. Two silvers that time. We're just rolling in the money, aren't we? How much money do we have, actually? Wow, 20 silver or almost 20 gold pieces. 128 silver, that's another 12 gold. So we have, what is that, 31 gold, 8 silver? Not bad for a fighter. Granted, if I was a magic user, I would have way less than that, but that's okay. We'll just heads. Oop. Oop, just lost those 2 knives. That's what happens when you get greedy. So now watch. Come back to pick them up. There's nothing to pick up. Both daggers lost. 12 silver coins, not bad. Gotta be really careful with your daggers in this one. Interestingly enough, the third one fixed that. I'm just kind of curious why it was. This one came out the same year as Quest for Glory 3 did, and there are some strangeness with this versus Quest for Glory 3, so... Drop the seed to dry its limbs. Now this will grow boldly where none has grown before. Oh god. I know Star Trek Next Generation was popular in '92, but come on. Heed now my words, friend of the forest, and heed them well. Friend, you must know that there is an evil in the valley which perverts the ways of nature. Prophecy says that a hero will bring a young human from out of this darkness. If you are the one to accomplish this task, there is a potion to break enchantments which the healer can make for you. You must gather these ingredients. Oh, break out your laundry list. Flowers from Arana's piece, green fur, fairy dust, a magic acorn, and flying water. Farewell, friend. I must return to my concentration. May the forest forever surround you. In this game? Yeah. You see an acorn fall slowly to the ground. Large, slightly glowing acorn. You pick up the acorn, the dryad's gift of the magic acorn. Dun dun dun! Ba, 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 ba. Boy, we're knackered. What time is it? Midday? Let's see if we can catch a 60-minute snooze. Nope. Okay. Hmm. Tell the healer that you have been to visit the Dryad of the Woods, and that she gave you a magic acorn and told you the formula for a potion to dispel enchantments. So you helped the Dryad, that's nice. She does keep the forest around here healthy, so that's how to make a dispel potion, is it? Thanks for letting me know. Oh, that's exactly why I did it. Take the acorn. Okay, we still need fairy dust, green fur, and flying water. Well, I'm pretty sure where the fairy dust is. Not too entirely certain about the green fur or the flying water. What am I saying? Of course I am. I know exactly where everything is. I've played this game 100,000 times. No reason in belittling you or lying to any of you. I've beaten this game into the dirt with every character type, with max scores, and with hybrid classes with above 500 point scores. I've played and beat the original Heroes Quest, the EGA version, which is hard as nails, with all 3 class types. So, yeah. Walking around in circles we are. A sign appears. It reads, Willkommen auf Zauberberg. Okay. Another sign appears. It reads, Trespassers will be towed. Bad pun, bad pun. Got a kick out of it when I was a kid, though. I think I laughed at that for a good 20 seconds when I was a kid. What can I say? I was easily amused. Still am, actually. You feel as though you've just scaled the Matterhorn in full armor. What a climb. You can see all of the Spielberg Valley from here. After you finally catch your breath, you can see that you have reached the rather eccentric-looking house that you saw from below. It looks more like a tower rather than a house. It looks like a house in the original version, just so you know. There is an ugly gargoyle above the entrance.
Stand fast. He who would the wizard see first must answer questions 3.
Oh, gotta do it like the guy from,
What is your name?
I am King Graham Cracker. I am Inigo Montalban. I am Oz, the Great and Terrible. Gunga Din. I'm Davin.
What is your quest?
To dream the impossible dream, to fight the unfightable foe. I want to be a pirate. That was the smack at Monkey Island. Hi, I'm Guybrush Threepwood, and I want to be a pirate. I just happened to be in the neighborhood and thought I'd drop by. I want to boldly go where no one has gone before. I want glory.
What is the thief's password?
How the hell would we know? We're not a thief.
At least if you're a thief, you're ashamed enough to lie about it. Come on in. The wizard will see you now. Go directly up to the tower. Do not dally.
You see the purple home of someone who must enjoy its precarious perch upon the peak. Wow, that's a tongue twister. Let's go inside. The room is full of odds, ends, and stuff. The wizard must be a real character. Your eyes are drawn to the eyes of the figure in the portrait. His intense stare is unnerving. This would not be someone to trifle with, for he looks subtle and quick to anger. What's that? It's the famous Duncan Dragon. You haven't seen one of those in years. Let's see, what do we have here? The poor stuffed peacock seems bedraggled, worn, and overused. Ooh, NPC. You admire the plumage of the peacock. What's that? A casket with a stick shift? This is a sarcophagus probably on loan from the Egyptian section of the Leyendecker Museum. You can tell because it has a ribbon around it. It's tied in a lower bow. What happens if we try to grab that? Ooh. This is a Zen lamp. You feel enlightened in its presence. Wah, wah, wah. What's this? Erasmus likes to keep his suits well ironed. What's that? That's probably a bottle of a gin. Really? What's that? It was a moderately large and fearful dragon at one time. It's kind of tiny. What's this? There is a strange figure on the bookshelf. It looks like an overgrown rat wearing a wizard's hat. Can I talk to it? You get no response. How about you? Get no response. What's on the bookshelf? The books on the shelves of the bookcase appear to be rather very old, very rare, and very magical. Interesting. And a stool. You find two titles like Zen and the Art of Magical Maintenance, How to be a Halfling, The Sensuous Succubus, and Tobin's Spirit Guide Volume 2, Asmodeus to Casper. The stupid stool stands there steadily. Wow, thank you for tongue-tying me. Come in and sit down. Fenris, our guest, has arrived. Please, please. Creepy. Wow. Behind the wizard's stern and forbidding appearance, you see a twinkle in his eye. You suspect that he is not always as serious as he appears. Oh, you think? Do you know the difference between a cheetar and a coma? A comma. What's the difference between a cheetar and a comma? A cheetar has claws at the end of its paws, and a comma has a pause at the end of its claws. That's close. Let's talk to this guy. Let's ask about him. I am Wizard of some renown. Really? Who's Fenris? What am I? Some sort of object? Am I invisible or something that you talk about me behind my back, in front of my face? Sheesh, no respect. It's hard to take anyone very seriously who wears such a ridiculous hat. Mr. Matching Hat? Magic. Magic be the loot of life? Play on. The quote was music, not magic, and it was food and not loot. How about magic makes the world go round? Money makes the world go round. Oh. Well, very well then. To put it in my own words, magic is the essence and the soul of life, and the wizard is her poet. Actually, it was Merlin who said that first, but he used the term magician, not wizard. Fenris, there are times when you would look better as a newt. Why is that? Because newts can't talk. Neither can most rats. Let's ask about Zara. Zara has a real flair for theatric. Her interest at the magic shop is a bit showy, but effective. It's a pity she has no sense of humor. Just because she doesn't laugh at your jokes doesn't mean that she lacks a sense of humor. It just means that she has good taste. Man, this rat is rude. I didn't see it. What about Baba Yaga? Baba Yaga is good at curses and shoots spells. She has a nasty temperature and doesn't believe in safe hex, so it's probably best to stay on her good side. Safe hex. You have to watch her. She cheats at cards. So do you. She started it first. Besides, I wanted her to get a taste of her own medicine. Shame she still beats you. I know, ain't it? The curse that Baba Yaga placed upon Baron von Spielberg was a fine example of creative cursing. Upon von Spielberg and all his clan, this is the curse I now demand. What I will shall come full measure, so shall you use all that you tread. Of course, the problem is that for every curse there is an equal and opposite counter curse. Really? It would be best to wait until it has been okay. Well, let's ask about counter curses. Counter curse is a cure for a curse. Usually works against the one who cast the curse in the first place. Counter curse for the curse of the Baron goes: come a hero from the east, free the man from in the beast, bring the child from out the band, drive the cursor from the land. So to break the curse, a hero must get rid of Baba Yaga in addition to all the other things. It does not reflect well on Baba Yaga. Nothing reflects well on that ogress. She has a face that would break anything but a magic mirror. No, I don't know. Well, let's ask about the magic mirror. There are many types of magic mirrors. One of the more common types is the one that has a strange face popping up every so often. Reminds me of the one in the master bedroom. That's not magical. No, but it does have a strange face appearing from it whenever you're in the room. At any rate, I used to have a nice magic hand mirror I misplaced around here somewhere. It could be used to reflect the spell back upon the caster. So if you happen upon a small golden magic mirror with a dragon handle on it, you'll know it's mine. It was the flagon with the dragon. The mirror had a leer. Oh, that's right. Well, if you find a magic mirror with a face on it, you'll know it reflects spells. But all mirrors have a face on it. Let's look at Arana. Never met her. Only built this vacation home here a century ago. Arana had a nice little magical meadow in her name northwest of here. Pretty respectable spellcaster, I imagine. Protection spell she cast over the city of town is fairly good, but I believe she missed a few places. You're just jealous because the only thing anyone named after you was a soft drink. I thought Erasmus's Razzle Dazzle Root Beer was a wonderful name for a product. It's a shame the company went broke afterwards. Protection spell. Arana's protection spell prevents the use of excessive violence or hostile magics within Spielberg's wards with the exception of a couple places. Looks to me as if she missed the back part of the alley and the spell only applies to areas in town above ground. Pretty shoddy if you ask me. Nobody asked you. Good point. Basically, anyone who uses magic is a magic user, anyone who casts spells is a spellcaster. However, to be a wizard, you need to have undergone initiation to the Wizard's Institute of Technorcy. in the land of Shapir. Magicians and sorcerers are wizards who specialize. I myself strive to master all those aspects of magic, unlike those narrow-minded specialists. You wouldn't want to lose your amateur standing, after all. I prefer to think of myself as a dilettante. Doesn't it mean that you tease pickles? You need to complete your quest here before you can become initiated as a wizard. No. Big purple ungefährlich Ding Eaters. Large purple ungefährlich Ding Eaters are all too common in the forest these days. I have no idea if I was anywhere near pronouncing that correct. That looked German. I don't know any German. Well, I can count to 5, and I might be able to count. No, I think I can count to 10. Another major. It's important for a magic user to know as many spells as possible. You never know just what might come in handy. That's all he says. Okay. Magic. Oh, that's one we just clicked on. Supposed to have a warlock working with them, but from what I'm seeing, he's more of a nincompoop than a necromancer. Nincompoop. He laughs too much when he casts his spells. That's because his jokes are funnier than yours. It's true that a torch will allow you to run faster. Escape from Warlock. The only thing I have seen the Brigand Warlock cast is Sneezing Powder. Isn't that a vampire who fell in love with throats? No, that's a necromancer. A necromancer is a magic user with a rather unsavory relationship with corpses. Does that mean a necromancer has ghoul friends? It means a necromancer is someone who deals with the undead. Canasta with cadavers and spades with shades, eh? Quite. What's there to say? For a rat, I'm a really great guy. Although, for such a great guy, you're really a rat. Good play. Erasmus is my familiar. Isn't that the other way around? Familiar is my Erasmus? Well, I've always found Erasmus to be overly familiar. No, I mean, aren't you my familiar? After all these years, you still don't know. I think we've got all the information we're going to get out of him, so let's go ahead and go. The difference between a wounded Triceratops and a magic user casting the flying spell. One is a soaring magus, and the other is a roaring let's see. No. One is a raging saurus, and the other is a soaring magus. I figured that one was a dying lizard, the other was a flying wizard. Sorry, Fenris, but he who tells the jokes gets to make up the punchlines. Not in my house, you don't. Back at the bottom. Good afternoon on day 4. Oh, look, it's a little lizard guy. Let's wipe him out. Stop being such a wussy! Let's go get the water. Oh, hello. Come on right up. Hey, cool, there's a letter. Knock again. Please move away from the door. Sorry, guys. Oh, hello. Go on in. Hello, is it Maction? I'm Emery the Hermit, that's me. Action, okay. Let's see here. I'm Henry, Henry the Eighth I is. My father was an Henry, and his father was an Henry, and his father was an Henry, and... Wow, he just keeps going, doesn't he? His father was an Henry, and his... Everyone was an hermit. Is it the music specifically, or is it the sound completely? Is that better? I really am learning this as I go. Really? See, I grew up with this series too. I'd show you. Give me a second. This is really shows you something funny. Sorry, I know I'm off camera. You're probably wondering what's going on. All these noises come from over here. Yeah. This kind of shows you how silly I am. I grew up with these games, and as such, when I got older, I lost all of them when I was a kid. Long story. But I managed to find them looking around, so I don't know if you can see that very well, but that's the original Quest for Glory when it was called Heroes Quest. Before it became Quest for Glory. I even did a video once. Wow, congratulations! Never done anything like that, I just play video games. And of course, the one I'm playing. And of course, followed up by Trial by Fire. It's actually easily one of the best ones in the series. The Odd Duck Out, Quest for Glory 3. One of the greatest games, probably, in the series, if it wasn't so buggy. Shadows of Darkness. And last but not least, a sealed copy of Dragonfire. Yeah, I happen to collect them. At some point in time, I'll put up some pictures, but I have probably 50 Sierra games of various different ages, most of them point and click, because that was kind of what I grew up with, because I'm old. But I've got both the Conquest games and all the Police Quest games, all the King's Quest games, all the Space Quest games except for the EGA originals of King's Quest 1 and Space Quest 1. And I have Colonel's Quest and Dagger of Amon-Ra. I do have the CD-ROM version of Quest for Glory 4, but unfortunately I only have the CD. I've lost my boxed copy. When I moved, it stayed and I left. And from what I understand, my ex-girlfriend sold them online because I had signed copies from Lori and Corey Cole. Another long story. But as you can see, I've got the CD-ROM version. I just have the CD though. Yes. Yeah, it was pretty painful when I was younger. Took me quite some time to get over that. But, you know, what can you do? Let's see. Yeah, I've looked into getting the CD-ROM version, a boxed CD-ROM copy of Quest for Glory 4, but it goes for really ridiculously expensive. No, I have Quest for Glory 4 on floppy. I'm good, but thank you for the offer. I have all of them. The only games that I'm missing from Sierra, the series that I enjoyed, are the original releases of King's Quest 1 and Space Quest 1, and that's just because they're really expensive. I keep an eye out for them on Amazon and on eBay for when they pop up for cheap, because that's how I got my Quest for Glory anthology, which normally goes for way too much money for really cheap. And that one. But yeah, no, this was probably my favorite series. OBS. I am doing OBS. My motherboard came with a... I've got 100 and... I think the last count was 197 boxed games. Those are PC games. I have close to 300 Amiga games, about 130 Atari games, a dozen Macintosh games, and then if you include just CD-only games, I've got probably another 400 games. Yeah, I was in the process of moving everything over because I got this cool program called, I found this neat program called DOSBox Game Launcher, and you can mount images of your CDs, so I spent the last couple weeks just taking a bunch of the games that I have on CDs and copying them over to the database so that I can just play them without having to worry about CD spin times and stuff. One of the other things that you might not know first foray into streaming, but this pretty much is my first presence online as a gamer. I mean, I watch a lot. I do speak with Matt Barton, who does Matt Chat. He does a podcast every 2 weeks, and I've sat down and chatted with him. I did an audio bit about the old Gold Box SSI games for Armchair Arcade. But for the most part, no, I don't really have much of an online presence. I mean, I do a podcast with my friends that we've been doing for several years called Gamers Haven Podcast, but that mostly deals with RPGs rather than video games. I'm the one that always is talking about video games in the podcast. What a surprise. But just one of my friends, he's on here on Twitch. He goes by the name of Chef Tig, I think. I've always known his online name as Tig and Striper. He started doing this, and he suggested I try it. So he helped me get the streaming software set up, which didn't take much. And once I got everything set up, I just started streaming some stuff. The first game I did was I did Space Quest 5 with my wife. And tonight, my wife and I will be going back to streaming Freddy Farkas Frontier Pharmacist. We'll be doing that probably around 6 o'clock rather than 7. Underground movement behind me. Oh, thank you. Always happy to find more people that enjoy these types of games. Several of my friends, they didn't grow up with these, and so when I try to show them stuff like this, they look at them and they go, "Oh, the graphics are terrible. How do you play these games?" And I'm just like, this is the best that we had back in the day. I can go back and I can play games from the early 80s and have no problems. I mean, I like to play text-based games, text adventures, and it boggles some people's minds. But I have fun. My friend Tigan, sent me over to a place called, I believe it's Casual Games, Casual Run, Casual Games Run Live, I think? It's a website for people like me. Yes. Yeah, she enjoys these games, so she never got a chance to play them when she was younger, so she gets a good kick out of them. And I had her play all the Space Quest games by herself, which was tough for me, because, that's... Oh, my wife is a gamer through and through. If you look through some of the videos that I have saved, you'll notice yesterday I was playing Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, and I was playing with my wife, our roommate, and a good friend of mine. So they were all just, literally, we're all just sitting around playing games because my friend has his laptop over here. So yeah, oh, this is gonna be bad. Can't hit him. Well, I remember when 16 colors was like amazing. If you had a 16 color display, that was like you were on the cutting edge. Or, for PCs, if you had an Amiga like the rest, like a lot of the people I knew, you were, people just, their jaws just dropped to the floor when they saw what you could do with your computer. And I loved my Amiga. It wasn't a great computer, had all sorts of proprietary problems, but it was amazing for the time. And yeah, I don't just collect games, I also collect hardware. So I've got in storage, I've got probably 30 or 40 different vintage computers. Well, text games are not everybody's interest. I know a lot of people that hate text games, and I understand that. But it's one of those interesting things, if you grow up with something, you tend to have fond memories of it, and my rose-tinted goggles are probably more rose-tinted than anybody else's I know. Ah yes, 5 1/4. I'm a little bit older than you, but I remember when I was really young, that we had a computer that loaded from cassettes. That's good to know. I'm happy to know that. Oh, shoot. Is it back up? Okay, it should be. Yeah, we had beta. We had CEDs too. Oh yeah, it's back up. I'm gonna keep going. We had the CED players, which are like record discs that have movies on them, and we had a Timex Sinclair 1000, which everything was loaded to tapes, cassette tapes, and it was awful. You'd spend 30 minutes, 45 minutes programming the game into the basic, and then you'd have to save it to a tape, which would take 30 minutes, and you prayed that when the tape was done, when you pressed play to load the game back, it didn't have a problem. Yeah, I remember growing up with all sorts of old stuff like that. And we had a Nintendo too, and I had a Super Nintendo, but computers were much more fascinating to me. It's kind of hard to see, but along with the old hardware, let me see if I can take the camera real quick. Let's see. If you look over here, I know my desk is a mess, but that is, right there is a Roland Sound Kansas FC55, and underneath it is a Roland MT32 Generation 1, and underneath that, behind all these CDs and everything, is a Roland CM64. So I actually am using real hardware for the audio. So this is actually exactly how it was designed to sound when they made the games, which is nice. I like having the original audio equipment. Well, it's one of those things that it doesn't really make that much of a difference with the games that use general MIDI, because if you look around, you can find Sound Canvas audio patches that are really, really accurate. But with the MT32, the multi-timbral, with the linear arithmetic, linear acoustic, no, LAPC is the form of synthesis it does. You really need an MT32 or a CM something. And it just takes a little bit of looking around. I mean, it's not that hard to find. The MT32 was a Christmas present for my wife. She bought it for me for Christmas. And then it's not really a competition. As a matter of fact, you know, if it's something that you're interested in, just keep me in messages somewhere, and I will, when I see stuff up for cheap, I will send you links to it so that if you want to try to pick it up, you can. You know, it's not just about collecting for me. I enjoy getting these old games, but every game I have, all except for two, every game I have except for two, they actually work. So that's the best part about them, is being able to play the old stuff. And I actually have several 486s, so if a 486 computer like an SX25 is something you're looking for, I have a spare one. Hi. And my wife just got home. A gentleman by the name, or gentleman or gentlewoman by the name of Maction. The 486. I'm still trying to get my hands on a 286 and a 386. That was the first PC, like IBM clone that we owned, was a 486. It was an old Packard Bell. It was a Legend, I think 110, without the CD. Okay. Okay, I'll turn it off in a little bit. I wasn't sure. It's kind of hard to tell from names sometimes, so I didn't want to offend. Oh. I have friends that used to live in Salt Lake City, and I have a friend who was born in Provo. So I know of the area. I'm in Kansas. I don't know if that's listed anywhere. But yeah, I'm in the middle of, literally I'm in the middle of technology deadland, wasteland. It's anything I want hardware-wise, I pretty much have to get it from the coast because it just didn't exist here. Excuse me. Sorry, I had something in the back of my throat. I didn't want to cough in the mic. It sounds much nicer than it actually is. We get the horrifically hot summers like Texas, but with 100% humidity, and then we get the horribly frigid cold winters like, well, if you're close to the mountains there in Utah, you know how you guys can get some serious snow. We don't get the snow, we just get that nasty cold, and then we have, because it's the plains, you get 25, 35 mile an hour winds that drop the wind chill down way below zero. So we get the worst of all settings. But quiet-wise, it's fairly quiet where we live, so it's nice. I don't like the hustle and bustle. We live on the edge of Kansas City, so we're close enough to everything that we can get good technology and get good service for like internet and stuff like that. But we're far enough away that we don't have to worry about traffic being horribly terrible all the time and everything like that. Actually, as a matter of fact, if you like Amigas, I have basically a basement. Yeah, reason what? Oh, those are good things to stay for. Well, congratulations on your undergrad in chemistry. My wife actually works in a lab as a chemist, so that's really cool. Well, she calls herself a lab technician, but she does chemistry for. She does product quality testing with chemistry on greases and oils, which is cool. But me, I'm just a computer science guy. Network and communications management and network systems administration. But my brother has a minor in chemistry and a major in organismal biology, so chemistry is something I recognize, I'm no good at it. Yeah, I tried to say that to her, but she doesn't listen to me. She thinks I'm over-exaggerating, because she thinks her job is so simple that a monkey could do it. And yet she talks about machines like, she comes in and she says, well, we ran had to run a test in the ICP, and I'm going, insane clown posse? And she's like, no, ionically coupled plasma. How do you ionically couple plasma? Because I don't have any experience with it. Although I think the most interesting machine she talks about a CAV, which I guess is Canon Auto Viscometer, which tests the viscosity of the oil and grease products to make sure they're within spec. Which I like the way that is. But she thinks it's very mundane because she's been doing it for so long. Me, I would be utterly fascinated in the job, just like she is just. It's like how people look at working with computers. Did you really? Huh. I've been up to Michigan a couple of times, but I've never been anywhere near where they would be. But they seem like. So with chemistry, what do you do? Are you like an analytical chemist, or are you a product chemist, or a quality test chemist? I'm just kind of curious, because there's got to be some chemistry jobs out there. That's awesome. I'm about 6 years older than you, just so you know. But yeah, in the early 2000s, I listened to their music. All my friends did. Are you following that goal to teach chemistry and math? Because Lord knows we need teachers who actually can do it. I know we do around here, but our school systems are so beleaguered right now when it comes to money to allow them to run. It's ridiculous. Our governor keeps saying things like, look, I cut the budget on schools by 30% and they're still running so well. Let's cut it by another 30%. You just go, what? No, that's not a goal to keep cutting money to something that needs it. Ah, dentistry. I need a lot of work done myself, honestly. I'm just terrified of going to the dentist. I hate them sticking things in my mouth and scratching and picking and everything else. Was it not fun being a dental assistant? See, I don't know. That's why I'm curious.